So I wanted a film camera for a while, and the one I want is pretty expensive. So I figured before I invest all this money into this hobby and this format and technology that's kind of outdated, even though it's kind of seen a resurgence of popularity right now, I should go out and buy a used camera so I can kind of play with it and get the idea of what's this thing, like, what's this all about. So I went to Tacoma. I found this little camera shop, which is really awesome. It's in a larger antique store in Tacoma, Washington. It's a little camera shop. There's a single guy that works there, has kind of weird hours. It's called Golden Hour something something in Tacoma. I'll put a link or something in the comments. But it was a really great place. I got this for 15 bucks. These kind of go up for like 20 to 35 online. So the fact that I got cheaper than you can online. And then on top of that, the guy went in there and I was looking at a $60 camera. And he was like, well, how about this? And he showed this to me. Like, who downsells nowadays? He actually downsold me into a cheaper camera. So I can only say good things about that place. But long story short, I bought this camera. I decided I want to go full manual because the camera I want to get is also full manual, which means nothing here on here is automatic. There's a viewfinder. There's no like focusing patch. There's no way to like autofocus. There's no way to really even tell if you're in focus. It has like these little feet meter at the top, so you can kind of tell how far away your subject is. And then you have like the depth of field gauge right here. And I can kind of talk about that later if anybody's interested, but you have to manually focus, kind of guess how far away your subject is, and then you can set the focus ring on the number of feet away you think it is. And then you have to set the aperture, the shutter speed. The shutter speed only goes up to 200, so you kind of have to use slow film if you're planning on shooting outside. And the aperture only goes between 4.5 and f/22, which is, the f/22 is good, but the 4.5 is kind of like, yeah, that's fine too, especially for a camera that's 75 years old and still looks like this good of condition. This is a Kodak, as you can see, Kodak Pony. And I shot a roll of film through it today. It's Kodak 200 something, I don't know what this is, but I'm hoping I'm gonna try to develop that tomorrow. And hopefully there's actually some images that came out on this, because also, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm pretty sure I didn't, there is no exposure meter in this. So there's no way to tell if your photos are properly exposed or if they're even in the right ballpark of being exposed at all. So I kind of been doing the Sunny 16 thing. I can also go into details about that if anybody's interested. But for the most part, you kind of have to use just your eyes, look around, and your intuition, and kind of just guess what your aperture and shutter speed and everything should be, and do a little bit of math in your head, and kind of just hope that the photo works out, because there's nothing here to help you. There's no electronics at all. So we'll see if it works out. What's kind of cool about this camera also is the lens is coated with some radioactive material. So apparently if you have like a Geiger counter or something that can measure radioactivity, it would actually show that this camera is somewhat radioactive, just like everything good from the 50s. So yep, that's the camera. I'm gonna hopefully get that film developed tomorrow. Hopefully I didn't break anything or expose it to light as I just dropped it. And hopefully I get some pictures out of that. But if I do get some good pictures, I'll be posting them here. So yeah, we'll see. Pretty excited about getting back into film. I messed around with film a little bit in high school, but I never, as far as I can remember, never owned a film camera myself. So yeah.